I'm opening. We have an eye, sort of a nostril, 2 teeth. One of the teeth has a small cavity. Close call, folks, but I think we got here just in time.
Presented by Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro. This is Anatomy of a Movie. In-depth discussions and breakdowns of various movie titles. And now that you've seen the movie, let the dissection begin.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back for Anatomy of a Movie. I'm your host, Phil Svitek, joined alongside Chloe West.
Hello.
JJ Jurgens.
Hi, guys.
And no, today we're not necessarily dissecting a film per se, because we haven't seen it quite yet, and it's not out. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but we have one of the actors here, Noel Fisher, who plays Michelangelo, and what a career you've had.
Thank you.
I mean, it just goes so many on your resume.
It's been good so far. Knock wood.
There you go.
Paper's wood,
I always
right?
just knock on my head.
Yeah, here you go.
Now, you know, to me, I'm really excited to see this movie, but when I did look over your resume, you actually, one of your earlier things was playing Toad on X-Men Evolution.
Right.
I was a big fan of that show.
Yeah.
Did you kind of grow up with these types of movies and comics and shows?
Yeah, I've always been, you know, sci-fi, nerdy, comic book loving kid. I grew up very much like that, so it was kind of trippy getting to play Michelangelo, because that's like, 12-year-old me was freaking.
Now, I mean, I know you talked about it with AfterBuzz TV about not necessarily, you know, your favorite was Donatello, and you didn't really give an answer, but I wanted the answer. Why did you gravitate towards Donatello, and now you're playing Michelangelo?
There was this one incarnation of Donatello. I don't even remember which one it was, where he was kind of like all zenned out and like super like guru meditate-y guy. And I always, even when I was a kid, I was like, oh man, that seems really like a good direction to go in. So that's kind of why I wanted to, I just kind of gravitated towards him. That and the fact that I have a general theory that finding a big stick in a park is just a whole lot easier than trying to make nunchucks in a park. And if you're like a 10-year-old kid, I want a stick. I can whip it around and be Donnie.
And in the second movie from the 90s, my favorite part, I will always remember this, Donatello hits the guy in the head with the stick and says cowabunga dude at the same time. And it was hilarious and awesome. So I get it. I get it.
Before we totally dive into the Turtles, we wanted to kind of talk to you about, you've been like across the board in movies, TV shows, miniseries. You know, what is it hard for you to transition? Because not many actors do that broad of things. How is that for you?
I love it. I mean, it's a bit of a transition going from, I mean, the biggest difference I've noticed from features and TV shows is that a show like Shameless, we move like at a clip. We shoot an episode in 7 days. You move really quickly. And whereas something like Ninja Turtles or really any feature, you can spend a large amount of time on one scene, and like you can be doing a scene for days at a time. So that's like the pace at which you're shooting is really different. So if you're doing a scene, keeping it fresh and not kind of falling into like a rote performance or whatever, for a feature can be a little bit more challenging, because you can be doing that one piece of dialogue for like 3 or 4 days at a time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you prefer one over the other?
No, I mean, I love them both. I really love working on TV shows because you get to explore the characters for long periods of time. And like, for instance, Shameless and Mickey, you get to grow with that character for years at a time, whereas you don't necessarily get to do that with features. They tend to be bigger, more crazy, cool, epic, stories as features. So that's a totally different kind of cool aspect to it. It just depends on what you're in the mood for, really.
One of my favorite parts of Shameless is watching, there are so many kid actors in it, and is watching all the kids grow up on screen. I mean, now we get to see that in the new movie Boyhood that's out. It's one of the first films like that, but I really feel like Shameless is a great example of like watching kids grow up too. Yeah. But just in like the role with Mickey and all the other roles you've played, when you're looking for roles, you say that you like to find something meaty, something that you can grab onto. Do you have a favorite that you've played?
Oh man, I've played a lot of really interesting characters. I think that Mickey probably is my favorite character that I've played, probably just because he's the most he's the most like complex. He's just super. His character arc is so insane and beautiful, and I think that's probably
And
my
frustrating
favorite
for the
one. Yes,
audience.
very.
Oh, we love it, and he's just so raw, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, he's got some stuff. He's a big old onion. There's a lot of layers there.
You know, we should talk to him. The look. We debate a lot on our show, our podcast for a couple seasons now. We've been talking about the look because we always said you can tell in your eyes that and so we think that you have the look, for Ian.
For the character of Ian, you've always had that, they've always said by that look, they know that you loved him even from day one.
That's good.
Do you feel that?
That's what he's going for. That's what I'm trying to, he's got it's that hidden thing, he's been hiding it for a long time, but it's always been there.
See, we told you.
I'm still trying to develop the look and also understand what that even means.
Nice. I got you.
Girls know.
I got you.
But in terms of what do you define as challenging? Because again, not only do you have this whole range between movies and TV shows, but also you do a lot of physical stuff. But then you also do a lot of dramatic stuff. So I mean, is it just all across the board, whatever you can get your hands on?
I try and choose projects that are going to challenge me in different ways, and Ninja Turtles is like a whole motion capture is like a whole new world, and it's pretty new for everybody, and that was a really interesting learning curve to get to be a part of. And then something like Shameless, where like the material and getting to work on a character that's that complex and writing that's like that is a totally different kind of challenge. And then for something like Hatfields and McCoys, that's a totally other challenge because it's someone that whose mind works in a fairly different way from mine, and getting to kind of figure out what that is and how that perception works. I just kind of try and find things that I get to learn in.
Sorry to jump in, but what is the learning curve for motion capture? What was that like?
Okay, well, I'll just take you through kind of a day in the life of being on set. You get up in the morning, you get driven to the studio, Steiner Studios in New York. You get into your wardrobe, which is like these weird gray leotardy outfit things with triangles all over them.
Unitard. You're wearing a unitard.
It's a unitard. It is. It's a unitard.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't admit it.
I'm trying to be cool about it.
It's a ninja suit. It's a gray onesie ninja suit. Okay.
Onesie is just hard to make cool, though. It's just really hard to make cool. So you do that, and then you go into makeup, and you have this mask that's really, really, sculpted to your face, like perfectly. There's 1,000 different dots on it, holes in it, and they put it on your face to strap you in, and they put dots, different colored dots, blue, green, and black, I think, in different areas, that correlate to different muscles on your face. So that takes a little bit of time. Then when that's done, you go and you get your helmet on with your back. You Velcro all these different battery packs and cords and things on you. Then you get the shell put on, which is like it's like wearing a parachute. You have full on like straps everywhere. There's so many different straps. And then so by the time you're all done with that, then you're finally ready to be like mic'd for like audio mics. They put that on the backpack and another little. It's usually tied into the camera. So it's a lot of equipment on you, and then you got to go act.
In the picture, it looks like that part of the helmet comes in front of your face as well, or was that part of the mask?
No, that's the helmet. The helmet that we use. There's different ones. Andy Serkis, I think, in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes they have a single camera that's right in front. We kind of look like ants. We look like it's like mandibles. Like there's two different prong things sticking out, and they each have a camera on the end of them that cover kind of like different halves of your face.
And that's all for the computer, those cameras.
It's all for the dots and your eyes, and ILM knows way too much about my face at this point.
You also have to do then so much physicality in those in those outfits. So what was the training like, the conditioning for this role?
We trained with 8711, which was a stunt crew. Amazing stunt crew. Jeremy Moranis did a lot of Michelangelo stuff, and I mean, he's a good example of just somebody that can do, like, you watch them do what they do, and you're like, man, humans can do that? People can do that? Like, how is that even possible? There's one scene where they were doing some flips, and I remember watching Jeremy in the whole outfit, except they didn't have the helmet on, but this big shell, he's just standing and he does like a little what I would think of as like a calf lift, and but that's how much like motion is in it. But he flips entirely around and lands on his feet, and then he does it the other way, and it's not kind of like a duck way down and jump. It's just like a little like. But he can flip like 60 feet in the air.
That's
crazy. So back to your actual question. We trained for a month with them in New York with all of our different weapons, and we each had kind of like a point person who would specialize in the weapon that we wanted to, that each actor needed to learn. So yeah, Jeremy got to watch me smoke myself in the face lots of times with nunchucks before I got good with them. Yeah. I did actually eventually get pretty decent with them, but
do you have some now? To,
I don't.
Keep practicing?
Oh no, yes I do actually.
Oh yeah.
I thought you meant now.
Oh, I wish.
I was like, you don't want that. You don't want that. Actually. Jeremy gave me, they're called Speed Chucks, and they're just shiny and smaller versions for competitions, basically, and they're very shiny, so it looks even faster when they're spinning around,
cool.
and he got me orange ones.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was pretty
now
awesome.
You have party tricks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You seem to have no fear with this, and like in Battle Los Angeles, though, you were scared by an extraterrestrial jumping out of the pool at you, so in real life, is there anything that you're scared of?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'd be fairly freaked out if an alien jumped out of a pool just behind me. I'm thinking that's. If you're not freaked out about that, yes, probably not a good thing.
Yeah, good point.
In Vanity Fair, in your AfterBuzz interview, they touched on this a little bit, but Vanity Fair talks about we're going to jump to Shameless, Mickey and Ian's relationship being one of the best written gay relationships on television. And do you feel pressure from that? Like, is that, because a lot of it is on the writers, but you guys are the face of these characters.
Right.
So do you feel pressure? Do you guys feel like honored to be kind of given this name? It's sort of still, it's still a big deal, and it's still, something that I think our society like watches for, like when new TV shows and things come out. And so how does that affect you guys there, or does it at all?
It's hard. You can't really take the pressure of it on. It's both, right? I mean, there's a huge amount of honor and thankfulness for people who really love it and appreciate the storyline and all that kind of stuff. So that's really wonderful to be a part of. I do put most of that on the writers, because they have written just a fantastic arc for the characters, and I think that's what people really relate to, and that it's so unique and at the same time universal for anyone who's ever thought that they need to hide a part of themselves or aren't good enough in some way or are wrong in some way. I think that's kind of something that most people can relate to on some level, and so getting to do that, I just try and keep Mickey real. That's my solid goal in it, is just to keep him as human as possible.
Do you and Cameron Monaghan talk about kind of how you want to do certain things? Since obviously it's it's not just you, it's also him, and I know the cast in particular is very close to begin with. So, but do you guys kind of go in terms of achieving that? Do you guys talk about that specifically, or no?
It's not so much a matter of talking overly. We'll in the rehearsal process. We make sure that we kind of figure out what exactly we want to be doing with the scene and what's the most poignant piece of story we can tell with the screen, with the scene rather, whether or not that's with dialogue or just emotion or the use of a prop or whatever it is. Thankfully, the cast of Shameless across the board is just sick. They're all really good. From like the kids that you were mentioning, Emma and Ethan are so good. They're so good. And then obviously Emmy and Shanola, everybody's just super great at what they do. So Cameron obviously brings a ton to the scene. So it's really, especially later on, it's really wonderful in later on seasons because you just know that he's gonna bring something.
Well, in that point, now that he's got what he's got, is it going to be harder for you to play off of because he's going to be pretty much almost whether just sleeping, or he's going to be a different character now, and not as active?
Well, I mean, it all depends because with this particular bipolar is it's both poles, right? So it's way up and way low. So there you can be in a kind of down phase and be sleeping a lot, and then you can have a manic phase where you just have like all the energy in the you're like the Energizer Bunny. So it's both, and I think that the thing that is Shameless does really well is it dramatizes how to cope with different situations that are difficult. So Mickey's gonna have to figure out how he deals with all these different kind of highs and lows that Ian's likely to go through. And yeah, so I guess I try and approach that from just being present in the scenes and seeing how I can respond to it. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? How do I fix it? That's kind of where I think I'm going to try and come from.
Man, I'm excited for next season. Gee, I'm like, oh, you guys are filming it right now. Like, man, is it done yet? Is it done yet?
There's a lot of months left still. There's a lot of months. We got to wait.
All right,
torture.
fine.
I'm sorry. I'll tell the editors to work quickly.
Yeah,
all right?
please, guys, come on.
Hurry up.
You also did an award-winning short film called Commerce.
Yeah.
Right, and so are you a gambler in real life?
No, I'm not. No, I'm a gamer. I like video games. But no, there's something about I just don't want to. It seems it's like a bad joke. Like you go and you play a game, but then you lose your money, and then it's kind of like, okay, good, game's done.
Yeah.
Can I have my money? Oh, I don't get my money back. Okay, that's not a fun game.
And it's so quick, right? It's over so fast too.
And it also doesn't help that I'm just terrible at it. Like I don't even know how to play most games, so
I can't add fast enough for blackjack. That's my problem. They're like, you want to play blackjack? I'm like, no, it's too fast.
Have a little calculator. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna not. Yeah.
Are you hoping that they make this Ninja Turtles installment into a video game and that you guys get to get back in those suits to do the video game
that'd be
stuff?
cool. I haven't even thought of that.
Because they have actors do all that stuff for because now the games look so realistic and look like films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think actually Andy Serkis has a production company that actually is heavily involved in doing a lot of video game stuff. So yeah, that would be super fun.
You'd be down for that kind of thing.
I'd be totally down for that. Yeah, I think a Ninja Turtles game did come out pretty recently, like within the last year, I think. But they didn't look like us.
Right.
They didn't look like those turtles, so naturally they're not as cool.
Yeah, and now they're gonna have to make another one to look like these turtles.
This is a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
I support this idea.
Come on, guys.
You heard him.
Speaking of Andy Serkis, there was so much with the debate that he's brought up about maybe winning an award for Dawn of Planet of the Apes. But it's all computer generated. Like, how do you feel about that? Being an actor who's had to act through it, and I assume you've seen the film now.
Yes, I did.
So you see the way they were able to capture your emotions in your eyes and things. So what do you think? Do you think that could be possible?
I think that it's a new technology, so it's a new area, but I think it should be. I mean, even the way that it's spoken of is that it's all computer, it's all animated, but it's not. Like that's the whole idea. Is that, I mean, if you watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, like Andy Serkis is he's incredible. He gives you a soul that you can relate to in an ape, right? So it's something that's totally different from you or I. It's something that's not necessarily something you would naturally think would be like, oh yeah, there's a soul. I mean, hopefully you do, but it's not a natural instinct to kind of think like that. I think it's incredible that motion capture can add that in a way that I think only an actor can do. I don't think that can be done the same way with strictly illustrations or computer generated stuff. So yeah, I think I think I heard a quote from him that was basically something to the extent that motion capture is a different kind of wardrobe and makeup, and I couldn't put that better. So I won't. Fair enough.
Now, the Turtles movies are known for so many fun comedic lines. How much freedom did you have? Did you get to do any improv with the lines? You did? All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Tell us one of your lines that you made up.
Oh man, I couldn't even tell you right now. But no, I mean, one of the things that was important to all the Turtles and all the actors and everybody making the movie was that they have this brotherly bond, and they get to rib on each other, and they're very they're teenage guys, they're teenage boys, and they have a lot of fun. So we did get to kind of mess around a lot, and like the beatboxing elevator scene, like just stuff like that, where you're just kind of like, that's ridiculous and awesome.
That's not in the trailer.
Yeah, I
is
was gonna
it?
say I haven't seen that.
You're like,
It
wait,
is.
what scene?
You can see it on it's like there's like maybe a Vine video of it that's
6 seconds.
Yeah, it's about 6 seconds of it. It's pretty fun.
Do you think, now, thinking about the way you talked about motion capture and your character specifically, do you think it'll actually be funnier because we're going to be able to see more emotion and more reaction in people's faces versus, the older films were hilarious and funny, but much more physical comedy because they were puppets?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that it helped to bring more comedy to the film as well?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think it's in the same line of the Andy Serkis kind of conversation we were having, is that anytime that you can bring more of the actor to any scene, hopefully that's going to improve it. So with comedy or anything like that, you get to have a lot more of that energy, and it's on the set as opposed to being created post, right?
Right.
You have the energy, and then you can change the look afterwards, and you can kind of, paint these amazing looking turtles on top of it, or whatever you need to, an ape or whatever. But it's a totally different game. It's a game changing kind of idea because you have the actors and the scene and the energy already there, and it's recorded and it's done, and then you just kind of get to play with it afterwards.
How weird is it seeing your face, your emotions, your eye movements
weird.
on something that's not your face?
It
And,
takes a bit of
hearing
getting
your
used to.
voice.
Yeah, it definitely takes getting used to. I mean, the first time that we saw ourselves actually moving and speaking was definitely was a trip, because there's no way to prepare yourself for that. If in anything else, you get your makeup done and you get your outfit on, like with Mickey, I can go look in the mirror and be like, there's Mickey. I see ya. And then with Turtles, you're kind of like, that's a weird dude in a hat with dots on his face. Like, it's a lot harder to kind of just help yourself get there with that.
Yeah.
Even if you get to see, like on Ninja Turtles, we had the maquettes that are these really, really, really detailed action figure type things. They're really models. They're about this big, and they're of the finished product of what the turtles are going to look like, and they're so cool looking. So that helped a lot, but the movement adds a whole other thing to it.
Along the lines of that, your characters and all across the board have been you've been a vampire with an accent, you've had a Chicago accent. How did you find this being mainly your voice? What was the process of finding that voice for this character?
I watched the movies again. I watched as many clips of the old show, the old animated show that I grew up with, as I could. I watched the new show on Nickelodeon, which is awesome and super fun. And I just want to, Mikey's voice is not that different from mine. It's a little bit younger and a little bit more dude-ish than mine. So I wanted to add a little bit of that. Not as much surf. I didn't want to go full surfer, because it didn't quite seem the way to go. But definitely needed to add just a little bit of heightened kind of dudishness. I'm gonna stick with dudishness.
That's pretty good. What was the audition process like for the Turtles? Because it is a lot about voice. And I heard in the AfterBuzz interview, you sort of went in for a few of the Turtles. So what do you think they were looking for when it was so much about voice but also you thinking about the motion capture? How did you prepare for this audition?
Well, I don't necessarily think that they were looking at it as a strictly voice performance. And again, that's the interesting thing about motion capture, is that it really is about again, I'll use the word soul of the actor and how they can interpret the character, right? So you have that's why the turtles that you're going to see are it's not just a voice performance, it's the performance in every way that the actors are bringing to it. So I think that they were just kind of, in that regard, I think it was pretty similar to most auditions, where they're just trying to find who has the right energy for this part, who has the right energy for Mikey, who has the right energy for Raph, who has the right energy for these characters.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's and so going in for each, did you go in for all the Turtles, or?
No, not all of them. I think I started off with Donnie, and then I went to Leo, and then a year later, I auditioned for Mikey, because it got pushed a little bit, I think, which worked out great for me because I wouldn't have been able to do it. because of Shameless. I was so upset. I was so upset I wasn't going to be able to go, and then
It was
the
meant to
timing
be.
it just worked out.
Yeah.
So
And in terms of, obviously, with the Turtles, there needs to be chemistry, right? And, with Shameless, you guys have that amazing chemistry. How did you guys work to develop that chemistry for this movie, whether it be with the Turtles or April O'Neil?
Fortunately, we didn't have to. It was just immediate and present and there. The guys that are the Turtles are just awesome. They're such good guys, and we really had that just immediate kind of bond. Like as soon as, even in the audition room, the final test that we did was that group, and you could tell even then there was just a natural flow and a really natural rhythm, and that just kind of really progressed over the course of shooting the movie. We were very much brothers, I think, at this point. Family.
Brother turtles.
So cute.
For the turtles.
Did you guys give each other a turtle at the end of the film? I'll
No.
always remember you. Here's a real turtle.
Here's a real turtle.
Don't let it die.
Yeah, that's too much pressure. That's just way too much pressure.
I was really intrigued by the Nickelodeon put out that special Inside the Action, and they kind of they honed in on the snow scene. What was it like? Because you mentioned it was tough to kind of you didn't get to see your face, you didn't know that. But what was that like? Because they're using so many different elements of filmmaking, like anything that they could piece together to make this scene work, they did. So when you're shooting it, obviously it's you're shooting for 1/8 of whatever the final frame is going to be. How was that to imagine? What it needed, where your surroundings were and the action and everything in order for you to be placed in that scene?
Well, it's a combination of green screen and stuff and practical sets. Like a lot of that scene was done with an actual big, massive truck that I was just on top of. But that's movie magic. You just kind of try and have to imagine yourself there as much as you possibly can, which can be difficult if you're I'm supposed to be tumbling down a hill.
Do you get to watch a lot of the pre-visualization so you can kind of see
Some
what
of
the
it,
final
yeah.
thing is going to be?
Yeah. There's a lot of previs stuff that we did get to see in terms of the bigger action sequences and kind of, so they want to give us a general idea of kind of what we're going to be doing, because otherwise you're just kind of flailing around. I don't know. It's a good move on their part. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have at least some idea.
Yeah.
For the big turtle fans out there, we know there's the staples of April and the Turtles and Shredder and Splinter. What other staples are they going to love seeing in this film?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you've kind of hit most of them. There's Shredder. I think that what people are going to really like in terms of Shredder is he's so badass. He's so badass in this movie. He's you've never seen him with he's like a teched out Shogun warrior guy. That's he's dangerous.
And what about the city of New York? That's such a staple character in itself, and you guys live under the city and protect above the city. And what was it like filming in New York, and how much of it is a character in this film?
I think New York's New York. It's got such a unique kind of energy to it that I think you can't really shoot Ninja Turtles anywhere other than New York. It's so much a part of it.
That'd be blasphemy.
Yeah, a little bit. But that was kind of a funny thing I was saying in one of the other interviews, that it's it's the only place that you can kind of walk down the street in a motion capture outfit and no one really cares. You're just kinda like, all right, sure. That dude's got dots on his face, whatever. That's fine. It's New York.
We have to ask, for one of our fans really is dying to know what your favorite kind of pizza is.
Oh.
Oh, all right. I just go straight cheese.
Oh.
I just go straight cheese. It's simple.
Nice.
I would. We got coming. We ordered cheese pizza for later.
Nice. I'm staying around. You're never going to get rid of me now.
And
That's what we were thinking.
Right? Looking back on the experience on Ninja Turtles, what was your favorite part about being Michelangelo?
Again, I'm gonna go with my brothers. It was just so fun hanging out with them and the vibe that we have. It's the four of us hanging out in New York together in the summer. It was just so awesome. That's what I'd say. I'd say definitely the boys.
Oh, awesome. And do you want to play a little true or false Ninja Turtle game with us?
Oh man,
How do you feel about your Ninja Turtle?
I'm gonna fail so epically at this.
All right,
Let's
so it's
do
true
it.
or false.
All right.
This year is the 30th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. True or
Already.
false?
That one's the easy
Yeah.
one.
Already. True.
Good job! Yay! That's one slice of pizza.
I didn't know I was
Second.
playing for pizza. Now I gotta get my game straight here. All right.
All right, for your second slice.
Second slice.
The true or original story is officially linked with Daredevil.
I'm gonna say false.
Ding, ding, ding. 2 slices.
Yeah.
Although it's not official, but it is somewhat linked with Daredevil.
Really?
Because of the ooze, I think Daredevil threw the ooze, and that's the canister that went into the sewer. So it's not official, but a lot of hints towards it.
Okay. All right. All
So
right.
very close.
All right. Get a little Marvel action in there.
True or false? The Shredder died in the first comic book.
Oh, I'm gonna say true.
It is
Good
true.
job.
I'm gonna have a whole pizza.
Killing it. That's 3 slices.
The lady's
All
hungry
right.
here.
Yeah.
We're going to stun you. Because of how much audiences loved the action in the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the second Street of Ooze had more violence than the first.
I'm gonna say true.
Oh.
I don't get pizza now.
No, you just lose a slice,
Yeah.
so you're down 2 now.
Oh, he loses a slice.
I'm
but-
making up the
okay.
rules as we go.
Harsh rules. This is a harsh pizza game.
All right, last question. Time to get one back. Okay. There was never a female turtle.
False.
Good
There
job.
was a female turtle. I do know that one.
Okay, now we're just going to ask really fun questions.
All right.
Do you prefer being blonde or brunette?
Blonde.
Oh,
I do like being blonde more.
really? Do you have more fun?
Yeah, blonde.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. You once said, I saw an interview on YouTube, and you once said that frozen yogurt was your guilty pleasure.
Yes.
What is your favorite flavor?
Oh, I really like. I'll go simple. I'll go strawberry. I like strawberry, or vanilla.
Any toppings?
No, not usually. Just go
Whoa.
straight. Just go straight yogurt.
Wow, that is weird.
I'm a thug like that. It's my thug yogurt.
It's your OG yogurt.
And I guess my fun question would be, who's the best turtle out of you guys in terms of ninja skills?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to throw down here. Oh man.
I mean, you could say you. It just has to be true.
It's probably a tough call. Alan got pretty good with his size. I think I could take him with my nunchucks though. I'm gonna have to. Alan, you heard it here. It's going down.
I want to see this battle. I want to see it. And now, can you give us your best cowabunga, dude?
We've been dying for this one.
All right. Okay. All right. Cowabunga dudes!
Thank you.
And on that note, thank you for joining us. It has been fun. The movie comes out August 8th. You better be there. Midnight screening. I want everyone
Yes.
there. I know
Like
I'm going to
it.
be there. I'm taking you guys as well.
Yeah,
Not that
there.
you guys
I'll
will
do
be there anyway.
Bring some pizza.
Turtle time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us for another Anatomy movie. We'll be back next time.
Yay!
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the rest of the Anatomy of a Movie staff, we would like to thank you for listening and subscribing to the show. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email or tweet us. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been Anatomy of a Movie.
Thanks for watching Anatomy of a Movie on YouTube. For more on your favorite movies, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to let us know what you think in our comment section below here. Bye.